Hey everyone, it's Daniel. So I just saw that Sequence Storm has 41 reviews on Steam, and they're all positive still, which is pretty cool. I think last time I looked, last week, I think I had like 37, so I got a bunch of new ones. That's pretty cool. If you haven't left a review, please do, because that would help me a lot. I'd love to see like 50 or so sometime soon. Today, this video, I want to talk about my future plans for Sequence Storm. But before I do, I have to talk about, I owe you guys a new build, I feel like, because there's a bunch of stuff that I have done recently that I could be uploading. Number one, I implemented an option to reduce flashing in the game for just photosensitivity. I don't know how good it works, someone's gonna have to let me know, but that's something I've done. I've got a lot of just random bug fixes. Fix a lot of like more spelling and grammar errors that I keep finding. I want to add badges in game for patrons, and I need to implement the input lag fix. So there's a bunch of stuff that I either have done and just haven't uploaded or need to do. So I feel like I kind of owe a build, but I've been working on kind of future stuff, which is what I wanted to talk about now. And like I've said before, I don't want to just push out a bunch of new tracks and missions. I don't think that's going to work for me, just mathematically. Even if everyone who bought the game bought that expansion or whatever, it wouldn't add up to, you know, being worth it to me to do. So that's why I need to work on, like, you know, redoing a whole lot of stuff. And so I don't know if it's going to be a whole new version of the game or what, but I want to show you what I've done last week, because I've just been experimenting with new ideas. So this is one of the new tracks. I need to change my audio over to headphones. I did. Rerun the game. Here we go. So this is just a small demonstration. I've got, first of all, I'm going to pause it right here. Instead of a flat track texture that's the same texture on every track, I want to have a bunch of different actual like racetrack looking textures under, but they've all got to be like dark so you can see the notes against them. So I've got just one that I created real quick here. Another thing you'll see is that the track walls they have like turns and stuff authored into them. So let me play a little bit. And so that's obviously just you can see how we're moving back and forth along with that. And that's just to add a little bit of motion to the game. And the third thing, which is coming up here, I added the ability to move the positioning of the notes around in 3D. So right here in this section, you see that it was on a downhill section, and I moved the notes up to the ceiling of the track. Now, it's not easy to see because this design of this track is not really conducive to seeing the notes against it, and also the camera, they're going off the camera, which is things I'd have to fix. Like I said, this is just a work in progress. It is kind of just a cool idea to be able to move things around like this, just to add more motion, make things more dynamic and interesting to look at. And then another thing you might have noticed is if I miss a note, I lose, I'm trying to play and talk, but I lose autopilot for a second, and so that's another thing that kind of just causes things to move around a bit, you know. So I think that's all as far as what I've been working on. Yeah. I kind of want to play this. By the way, this is Remember Sailor by 2D Cat, so this is a new track. Oops. And you can see I even have some stuff screwed up. You see how the meters are like not even on the screen right now. Yeah, so anyway, that's just a test of new ideas and features. I think what I've got out of that is that what I want to do is I do want to be able to move the notes around. I think that's interesting, but of course I have to like fix the camera so you can always see them. And I need to have track models where, like I have this new dark track under the player, I'd also need new, like maybe I could like put the track model on top as well. It's just I need to have like a dark background for the notes so you can see them. Anyway, so I haven't done any of that, and what I'm showing you is really ugly, but like I said, it's a work in progress just to test out these ideas. So that's what I had been working on, and I guess it's useful to do that so I don't know, I have to test ideas. I always say ideas are useless. You have to iterate on them to get something of value. So that's what I'm doing, and it's not pretty, but I'm trying to like get value out of them. So for this next expansion version, whatever, what I want to do is to try to do crowdfunding, and to do that I need to be able to put together a whole lot of media, like number one, a nice trailer. So I need to do a lot of focus on graphics and visuals. I feel like that's the weak part of the game right now, and that's why I just don't get tons of attention. Like if I post on Twitter or Reddit or whatever, I just don't, you know, it's not something that pops and makes people say, oh wow. So I need, at least for the purpose of like the trailer and stuff, I need a lot of new, better 3D art. I want to do voice acting. I think that just for the purposes of a trailer, I should be able to get some pretty good, not too expensive voice acting, just to make the trailer more interesting. I need to work on particles, because right now, that's probably one of the worst parts. I have particles, but they're just kind of there. They're not very good. I would like to put stuff like lighting and shadows. Right now, the game has no shadows whatsoever, because I don't know how to do that. I'd have to figure it out. And I think stuff like that would make the game a lot more interesting. But I also want to, in addition to like having the notes move around or be on the ceiling, I want to try different shapes for the tracks. So in addition to being able to widen or make it narrower or have these chicanes and things, what if the track could be curved, like concave or convex, or what if it could turn into like a cylinder that you're inside of, or even a cylinder that you're on the outside of? Because these are all things that other games have already done, and so I think they could be cool. And so for a trailer, I'd want to show, I think what would help is to have a lot of variety of different styles of tracks and gameplay. Also dynamic set pieces. I'd like to have set pieces, like all the things in the background, to animate and like rotate and flash with the music and stuff like that. Right now everything's really static and not that exciting to look at. So those are all things I'd like to kind of get those to a point where I can at least just make a trailer with all these different things in it, just to add interest. And also, when I work on this stuff, that gives me a lot of content to post to like Twitter and Reddit. What people seem to like to see on like Reddit, for instance, in the game development subreddits, is like before and after, like, oh, this is like a new particle, or here's a new model, or whatever. So if, as I'm working on this stuff, I can post these kind of like updates, these like bite-sized little, GIFs and things, I think that's a good way to get attention. At least I think so, just from looking at what people post and what gets attention. Let's see. Now, talking about crowdfunding, there's a lot of stuff for the next version that right now aren't really in my scope of what I want to do, but they could be like stretch goals if I was going to do crowdfunding. There's a lot of cool things that people want, like multiplayer, or being able to import your music library, or customizable like vehicles and stuff. I could kind of add those on as like stretch goals, or these are all things that I don't know how I would do right now. Like I've certainly done networking programming, but not at this scale, like doing all of it for one game. I haven't done that before, so it would make the game seem a lot more interesting if I could advertise those kinds of features, right? So that's why I'm thinking of kind of other ideas. So I don't know, let me know if you have any other kinds of ideas for just things that would make the game. Obviously, a lot of people want online multiplayer, right? But a lot of people have said they want it, but I don't know. Let me know what other things, ideas you would have for just like your ultimate version of the game, right? I think that's all I have to talk about today. Yeah, that's it. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more devlogs, so subscribe to this channel if you're interested in seeing more. And that's it. Bye. Thanks for watching.